Hey, let me ask you a simple question. Are you actually stuck in your business or just unclear about what matters right now? They're two different questions that you need to answer. Because most business owners I talk to, they're not failing, they're not lazy, they're definitely not incapable. They're just unclear about where to go. And clarity always comes before momentum. Welcome to the Business Growth Made Simple podcast, where we're going to strip away all the extras, all the hype, all the guesswork, and focus on what matters moving forward. I'm Steve, your host, and today we're continuing our introduction to the Climb Blueprint. We're going to start where every healthy business must start, with clarity. Not more hustle, not working more hours, not tactics, systems, motivation. Clarity. In every struggling business, confusion shows up the same way. Too many ideas, too many priorities, too many options, and too many we should be doing this conversations. Not enough alignment. I've heard stories. Most entrepreneurs can have 20 different ideas before they get in the shower in the morning. Most of them don't work. And here's what we must face as owners. We don't need more ideas. We need fewer decisions, fewer distractions. Clarity answers questions like, what actually matters right now? For the next 90 days, I'm going to focus on this. What matters now? What problem are we really solving? What does winning look like today in this season? And what can we safely put aside, ignore for now, without causing an issue? Because without your why, without clarity, everything feels urgent. And when everything feels urgent, execution collapses. And we wind up looking like a deer in headlights because we don't know where to turn. It reminds me of the story of the first flying machine. And as the story goes, it was the Wright Brothers versus Samuel Langley. And Samuel Langley, we're talking the turn of the 19th century, so around 1901, 2, 3. Samuel Langley had everything going for him. He was backed by the government, funded by the Smithsonian. He had access to all the top engineers, plenty of money, national attention. He was on track to be the first. He wanted to be recognized as the first. He wanted the fame and fortune that he thought would come from being the first. But when his aircraft failed publicly, he quit. Because when the goal disappeared, so did his effort. Now, compare that to Wilbur and Orville Wright. They had no government funding, no formal engineering degrees, no press, no recognition. What they did have was a bicycle shop and a why. While Langley's why was all about the fame and the fortune, the Wright brothers' why was that they believed human flight would change the world. That belief gave them clarity. Why were they doing the work? What problem were they solving? Why failure didn't mean stopping, and why setbacks were just data. They weren't chasing the applause. They were committed to impact. And because they were clear on their why, they stayed focused on how to keep moving. In December 17th, 1903, 122 years ago, they succeeded. These two bicycle shop owning kids from Ohio went to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, and didn't succeed just once or twice, but that morning of the 17th, they succeeded 4 times. And the 4th time was 826 feet. They were the first ones to have a manned flight leaving the ground and coming back to the ground. Wow. They succeeded. And if you ever have a chance, I highly recommend heading down to Kitty Hawk in the Outer Banks, North Carolina. They have a whole museum, a whole space dedicated to them now and the first airplanes. So this isn't about the airplane. The story's not about the flights. It's not even about winning and losing per se, but it is clarity of your purpose. It's your why. Langley had the resources, but his why was shallow. Wright Brothers had a huge why, and they found the resources. And in business, this shows up all the time. When your clarity is weak, when your why is weak, you start chasing trends. You copy your competitors who could be on a totally different track. You change your direction too often, and you quit when results aren't going well. And when your clarity is strong, you filter ideas through that instead of chasing things. You're going to say no more easily. The question becomes, is this decision going to take us towards our why, towards our goal, or away from our goal? Is it just a distraction? You're going to stick with the right work longer. And you're going to learn instead of panicking. Your why, your clarity gives your effort direction. And without it, your hard work just turns into exhaustion. So, what does clarity actually mean in my business through the Climb Blueprint? Well, clarity is answering 4 questions and answering them honestly. What problem are we solving? It's not about what we sell. What pain are you relieving? What transformation are you giving them? An electrician adding a surge protector, he's given them the peace of mind that should the lightning strike nearby the house, that this is going to protect their electronics, their data, maybe even their pictures if they're in their computer. Who are we best positioned to serve? We're not here to serve everyone, although that would be nice, but we can't. It's just not possible. This reminds me of a story I heard from a colleague that his son started a plumbing business and he was doing everything for anyone. He was replacing faucets, he was doing whole house repipes, new pipes, clearing drains, putting in water heaters. He was doing it all. Until one day he was working at a customer's house and he asked them about their brand new wall hung tankless water heater. He wanted to know how long it's been there and just asking the normal questions that we typically ask when we're in the home. And he asked, when's the last time it was maintained? And the homeowner had no idea it needed to be maintained. Nobody told him. He thought it was just like the tanked water heaters. Well, 2 years later, he found another one that was failing because it wasn't maintained. And as the story goes, he decided to shift his business from serving everybody doing all plumbing work to just focusing on tankless water heaters. And the reason why he wanted to focus on the tankless water heaters is because they weren't cheap. They still aren't cheap. But a little bit of maintenance helps them last a lot longer. And so for him, it wound up being, he wanted people that get the longevity out of the tankless water heater that they deserved. That was his why. And now he has built a multi-million-dollar company that employs 15 to 20 people. And not only is he serving the residential people with their tankless water heaters, but he's hooked up with a couple of manufacturers who recommend his company to go out and help them with their tankless water heaters. started out just helping people, but the focus was all on tankless water heaters and helping them last longer. He's not serving everyone. If you call with a regular water heater, unless you want to replace it with a tankless, you're not his customer. And yes, he does say no. Next question is, what does winning look like in this season? For the next 90 days, is it growth? Is it stability? Is it cash? Do we need to focus on making our systems better? What would winning look like in the next 3 months? And then the last question is, what matters right now? But what can wait? What's going to get us closer to our goal, and what can we wait until we get there and revisit it to see what can happen? You know, when you're not sure about those answers, your team isn't sure either. The owners kind of second guess your decisions. Your marketing feels like nobody's listening because it's scattered all over the place. So numbers are down, execution's down. But when those answers are clear, momentum builds. Your focus gets easier and sharpens like a laser. Your confidence increases, and your results start to show and compound. Clarity is not motivational. It is directional. And the problem is most companies skip it because sometimes it feels slower than actually doing something. Have you ever cut through a neighborhood just to keep moving because there was a traffic jam or there was a backup at a certain light? Action, yeah, I've done it. Action feels more real. It more like you're getting somewhere. But I've actually paid attention to the cars in line that I'm going around through the neighborhood. I can't tell you the number of times that car that was in front of me was either at the light or going through the light as I was coming past. Hey, you win some, you lose some, but action doesn't necessarily mean you're going faster. You launch things that you don't stick with. Sometimes you wind up hiring before you're ready to hire. And you're going to market before you're clear on where you're going and who you're serving. And you scale, or try to, before you have a nice foundation, a nice base. Clarity just makes things intentional, not easy. That is why clarity is the first step in the climb blueprint. Because you're not going to get to where you want to go until you decide where you're going to go. You know, Zig Ziglar, he used to say that aim at nothing and you'll hit it every time. Clarity is there because it's not necessarily inspiring, but because it's foundational. It's the basis for everything else. It's the basis for all your decisions every day. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody came to you and said, hey, boss, I think we should be doing it this way, and you kind of ponder it for a minute and ask them why, and they try and explain it to you, and you sit back and think, well, that's not going to get us towards our goal, or it may, we're going to sit on it for a little bit, or hey, that's a totally different direction from where we're going. Makes life a lot easier, doesn't it? So hey, over the next couple episodes, we're going to break down each part of the climb blueprint so you can apply it to your business one step at a time. And if you don't want to figure this all out alone, our January cohort is open. It's going to be small. We're only going to take a few companies. That way we can have high connection, high accountability, and we can do stuff that moves the needle. I'm not a fan of these big 50 and 100 person cohorts, right? Not everybody can be served well. And usually what winds up happening is people they fall off the wagon because they're not being served properly. I don't want that to happen. So I want to keep this small. So hey, the link will be in the show notes. Love to have you come on board. Clarity is not about knowing everything. Clarity is about knowing enough to take the right step. And that's where real growth begins. Hey, thanks for listening to Business Growth Made Simple. I'll see you in the next episode.